Welcome everybody. Listen, this is the Scuf Instinct controller review. Listen, I bought this Scuf Instinct controller. I've had it for about a month and a half, and now at this point, I've had a pretty good grasp of what I feel about it, how I feel about it, and my adjustments that I've made over time. For context, I was on this controller, this Battle Beagle controller that I had custom made about 3-4 years ago. It has digital tap triggers. It has 4 remappable buttons on the back that are actually fine-tuned to exactly where my fingers are placed. I've been using that controller for 4 years, and unfortunately it took a bad fall about a few months ago, and unfortunately it broke. So unfortunately I was controllerless for a while, but it didn't really matter too much because I was on mouse and key, especially still playing Apex Legends. So instead of waiting, unfortunately, maybe 3 months for a custom build on a brand new controller, either through Battle Beaver or even through another company, I decided to get something that's generally pre-made, that'll ship within a week or two, and I'll have it, and I can, in about a week, I could be at least playing on it. The biggest thing for me that was incredibly important that I really wanted was remappable buttons and instant triggers. If you've ever played on instant triggers, you probably don't want to go back. They're very nice. They're nice tactile feeling. If you don't know what instant triggers are, it's basically like a mouse click, but for your trigger. So instead of going all the way down on your controller like this, all you have to do is just click it. It's a lot faster. It feels a little funny at first if you're not used to it, but once you get used to it, it's so good. And I definitely never want to go back to not having it. So instant triggers was a must for me. Remappable buttons was also very important because I like different buttons in different places, or at least the actions of said button in different places than what the manufacturer may provide. So if I could at any point change what I want to those buttons, I could do that. So let's get into the controller itself. I had bought the light gray model of the Instinct Pro. The Instinct Pro has everything that the regular Instinct has, but it adds a couple of new features. Those features include instant triggers, which is exactly what I wanted, and it throws in a nice performance grip, which we'll get into. These are all your available colors, but I went with the gray. Like I just said, the main difference between the Instinct and the Instinct Pro is the adjustable triggers, as the instant triggers, and the grip. Also, if you get the regular Instinct, it only comes in one color. You do still get the 4 remappable buttons, but you don't get as much customization. Now, the controller itself fits very well in my hands. I do like it a lot. It's a bit of a transition from a PlayStation 4 controller, but I grew up mostly on an Xbox 360, so going back to this familiar feeling is very, very nice, and I like it a lot. Also, one of the main differences that I don't believe they cover on the website that is different from the Instinct and the Instinct Pro is the faceplate itself. The faceplate on the Instinct Pro on this gray model is very smooth. It's very nice to the touch. It almost feels like its own type of suede. Combine that with the additional grip on the back, this controller feels very good to hold in the hands, especially for an extended period of time. Now, the 4 remappable buttons are in a pretty interesting place in my opinion, and that was one of my initial concerns when I had bought the controller. So as you can see, the reprogrammable buttons are kind of tucked in into the crease between the grips and the actual center part of the controller. It's in a very interesting spot. So the only finger that could really kind of get there comfortably is my middle finger. Now, for the button that is actually on the grip itself, and the part that you're actually holding, hitting that button is very easy. But the button that's more on the back towards the center of the controller, that one is a little bit more interesting to hit. On my right hand, since I'm right hand dominant, hitting this button, like I said, very easy, right? It just naturally sits there. This is basically how my hand is. This is basically how I hold the controller. So it's very easy. When you have to hit this button, which is actually bound to my X, or most commonly reload, I basically have to like go up to the side. I have to press my finger towards me, like towards me, my chest, basically. That's basically how I hit that button. You can kind of move your finger from here towards the center of the controller and it'll kind of just tap it, but it is a little weird. But because I'm right hand dominant, it's not so bad. On my left, however, my offhand, hitting this button is a little weird, and it took a lot of getting used to playing the game, just hitting YY because that's what that button is bound to. I just got to hit it a lot, almost unnecessarily, so I can kind of build that muscle movement, that muscle memory. It's a little bit more comfortable now, but on certain moments, there's a bit of a brain fart, and sometimes it doesn't always work. And I'm not saying that the controller's not working, it's just that this right here is not working. Either I miss it, or I can't seem to get it to click. It's more on me than the controller, but it may be something that's a concern for you. I wouldn't really worry about it too much because, like I said, I've only been playing on this for a month, and I'll be honest, I haven't really been gaming as much. Take that with information as you will. If you're somebody who plays a lot, you'll probably get comfortable really quickly. Listen to the tactile feel of these buttons. Very smooth, very crisp. Now back onto the faceplate. If you had wanted to remove the faceplate for whatever reason, maybe you want to do some cleaning, or more importantly, you probably want to change out your thumbsticks, which they do send you. You can do it just like this. You basically just hug on the thumbsticks. You kind of like pull it out of its place. You pull out both of them and then pop. The faceplate pretty much just comes right off. There's the bare bones of the controller. And from there, you can take out the thumbsticks, you can replace them with another size or maybe another version of them. You can also take off the D-pad, which is magnetic, and it only goes in one way. To put the faceplate back, you basically just slide it back over, make sure these slots are lined up, and everything kind of just clicks right back into place. No big deal. Very quick, very easy. Some additional accessories include things like this, a set of batteries in case you wanted to ever play this wirelessly. About 3 different sets of joysticks. Only one set comes in gray, the rest are black. These joysticks do come in different sizes. I am using one of the taller sizes for my aiming, and then the stock joystick is on the left, which is why when you look at my controller, it's gray and black. And there's the physical difference, you can see it right there. And it also comes with a 6-foot custom Scuf wire, USB-A to USB Type-C. My overall thoughts about this controller, I think it's very much worth the price. If you are looking for a controller, you definitely want to maybe consider picking up the Scuf Instinct. There is plenty of other options that Scuf offers. There's also other options from other competitors, but overall, the company itself is very good. They've been making controllers, custom controllers for many, many years. This is a very solid build. I got very comfortable on these back buttons very quickly. The overall feeling is very, very nice. I can't get over the suede front plate of this thing. It just feels so nice. I just love playing it. The top bumpers are very clean and tactile. The triggers for the instant triggers, even though you can adjust them whenever you feel like it, feels very, very smooth, very, very tactile. It's a very just nice controller. I love playing on it. I'm glad I picked it up. I do like the fact that I picked up this version instead. I spent the extra couple bucks because guess what? Hopefully, depending on the type of gamer you are, this will last you some time. My first custom controller lasted me 4 years. This thing lasted me 4 years before it took an unfortunate fall right on the trigger and it just killed the trigger. If it wasn't for that, the rest of it is still pretty much good. There's nothing wrong with it. I still wish it didn't take a tumble, but accidents happen. That's what happens when I place my controller on my lap and then it accidentally falls. When it comes to stick drift, I haven't personally noticed anything unless you just take all dead zone restrictions off, depending on what game you're playing, of course. Then of course you're gonna notice a little bit. I don't think there's too many controllers that can eliminate dead zone or stick drift. I think that's not an impossible feat, but it's relatively difficult. So if you just tune it up just a little bit, you tune up the dead zone just a little bit, you'll eliminate whatever stick drift that you think that you're feeling. If you guys like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I would highly appreciate it. It helps the channel grow tremendously. If you so wish, you can join and become a member where this video is live to members a few days before it goes public. Link down in the description down below. With that being said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you for watching and enjoying this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.